TikTok, I think, I hope. And maybe not. Let's give this a minute. And I should be live on Instagram. Not sure how that's going either. I don't see any movement. All right. I am now live on Facebook. Welcome everybody on Facebook. And welcome on YouTube. All right, if you guys could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. What is happening here? Okay, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, there we go. We've got TikTok moving. All right, thanks so much. Instagram, looks like we've got some activity on Instagram as well. Okay, I'm covered on all four. Excellent, excellent. So if you guys could drop a comment of any kind, it helps me out in the algorithm. Please give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate the subscriptions. And what else? I don't know. My brain's a little bit fried. And the cat just had a cat fight and I'm a little frazzled. Okay, he's frazzled, I'm frazzled. So we're running a minute behind here. We do have some new producers in training here tonight. And Jill, my beautiful producer, is running the show. So she's going to be posting in Instagram in the comment feed, TikTok in the comment feed, how you guys can purchase your reading, submit your question. Unfortunately, she's not able to pin that. I don't know, something's happening with the settings. So if she's able to pin it, it's only going to be for a few seconds. So you're just going to have to sort of watch there. The alternative is to get off those platforms and switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, where you can submit your payment, submit your question, see it all pop up on the screen, and the directions are all up on the screen. All right, we're going to give this a minute to let a few people tune in. And while we do that, I want to make a couple quick announcements about things that are coming up or going on. Jill, what do we have? The 42nd annual September Fest. This is in Forestville, New York at Merritt Winery. These people put on a really great festival. I work, I think, 3 of theirs per year, and they're all really huge. So again, the 42nd annual, right? Clearly they do a good job. A ton of vendors, live music. You're going to have a ton of because it's a winery, you have the shop, you have food trucks, just a ton going on. So if you want to pre-book with me, that's going to be Saturday, September 7th and Sunday, the 8th. And I know pre-booking is starting to fill for that. You can also try your hand at a walk-in. Right now, if you guys want to book a reading with me, or if you want a love and relationship reading and you don't want it to be public, you want to pre-book on one of these events I'm about to speak on, you can go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. Knock it off, Jesus. Hey, psst. No. He's in a fighting mood. You know, if I put him outside to fight with this other cat, he's just going to cry about it. So he's probably just, maybe this is knocking over the cameras type of night for him. We're going to see. Bear with me. All right, so let's move on to another one. What else do we have going on? Spirits with Spirits. Oh, this event is amazing. So Oakwood Cemetery in Niagara Falls, this is a historical cemetery, and they do this fundraiser. Last year, we weren't able to do it, but a few years before we were, and we're back. So this is going to be Saturday, October 5th. I'll be giving a gallery show up at the front on stage of the mausoleum. You guys are doing like dinner. There are musicians. There's like this trolley that goes through and these ghost hunts are going on. And then after my gallery show, which is essentially a reading, for an audience, I am doing private readings in the back of the mausoleum by candlelight with the beautiful stained glass windows. This is amazing. This, you're really going to want to pre-book your reading for. It's rare that I have walk-ins left for that. So check it out. Again, that's October 5th. What else we have going on, Jill? Paranormal class. Okay, so here, the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home. You guys have been asking if I'll run some type of paranormal class or show you guys where all the hot spots are. So I decided to do that instead of a self-guided ghost hunt. I will be guiding you through the ghost hunt and giving you some basic training. You're encouraged to bring your own equipment for the ghost hunt. We do all 4 floors. Everything's been abandoned in this place. This place sat for 16 years before I moved in here a couple years ago. And it was a funeral home for over 55 years. Before that, you know, there was a lot of deaths. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see what you guys pick up on. I will take you to all the most active spots in my house. And this is going to be October 26th from 8 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. I think that's wrong, actually. I think it's 8 to 11. 8 to 11. It's 3 hours. Also, if you can't be here for it, you can join us online. Okay, so tickets are up on the website. It's limited space. Okay, so check that out. What else do we have going on? All right. Also, I see some questions coming in here. Just a heads up, what we're doing here tonight, this is my Get a Grip on Your Love Life and Relationships show. So this is any type of relationships, family, friendships, neighbors, coworkers, a boss, a lover, a spouse, what have you. You're going to want to drop your questions now. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. And do include the name, or if you don't want to put the full name, at least the initials of whoever it is that you're referring to. All right, we also have the Spirit of Tarot class coming up. You are able to do this online. And if you can't be there live with the group, it's once a week on, what are we doing? I think Tuesday nights. It's January 7th to March 11th from 7 to 9 p.m. If you can't be there every week, that's fine. You just get the video download. So check it out, the Spirit of Tarot with Tiffany Chisler, who is going to be teaching you in the intuitive method of using the cards as well as the traditional method. So this way you don't get stuck using tarot as a tool for the rest of your life. If you want to use tarot to help you out with your psychic abilities and things like this, but you want to be able to evolve and level up in full-on mediumship without a tool, she's going to get you there. All right, so check it out. Registration is now open. We also have, the Psychic Mediumship course. This is the last announcement I'm going to make, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So the Psychic Mediumship course, I am refilming all 28 weeks for Tier 2. Last time I filmed, it was during COVID, and I'm just sick and tired of looking at it. I can't anymore, okay? So we are redoing the entire thing. Registration is now open, but seats are filling fast. You could do in person, you could do online live with us, or you can do the video download, mix or match, however you need to do that. We start January 7th, and that's going to run until July 15th of 2025. So yeah, it is a 28-week course. It's once a week. So Psychic Mediumship course. Also, once you get certified in anything here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy, you are up for higher lifelong, work opportunities through Ivy Ceiling Call Center, Ivy League Psychic Fairs, all kinds of stuff we have going on all the time. So check it out. Hope to have you guys. All right. Looks like we've got a few in here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. And this is my Get a Grip on Your Love Life and Relationships show. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. You do need to be specific on your question, referring to someone with a name or at least the initials. Okay. And if it's open-ended, obviously that does not count. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Who do we have? All right, first one is from Edgar. This is a $10 question. Edgar wants to know, love prediction for me and Jennifer for the next couple of months. Let's see what I'm getting with this. What I'm feeling with Jennifer's energy 2 months out from now is a hand, like a wall. And I think the most important thing to do is to start honoring and respecting it now. You may want to pull back the amount of like energy you're putting toward her, the amount of thought you're putting toward her, the desire, you know, to have something going with this person. Because normally when I see someone's hand going up like this, or they're putting up a wall, that's not a great sign. So she may be feeling that she doesn't want to be dealing with anyone, not this month, but next month again. So there could be no sign of this coming, you know, and then all of a sudden it's there. And we want to not be included in on that if at all possible. Okay, so if she's going to want a lot of personal space, she's going to be putting up quite literally a brick wall. That's not good. A brick wall signifies in my base that this person is unattainable, unavailable, entirely detached, and we don't know if they're coming back around again. So the smartest thing that you could do is to understand where she is with her personal, you know, life and any conversations that you guys have in this upcoming month, where she may be indicating distress. I think it's really important to make very clear that like you're there to listen, but also be, you know, not so detached that you seem emotionally unavailable. You know, sometimes we say like, well, I'm here to talk, but we energetically are not available at all. You know, we don't want to go that far. We want to say, you know, I'm here for you. And then leave it at that. You know, don't say it again. Don't pry. Don't ask. Just let her, you know, do what she needs to do. I think that she's entering into a period of time where she's going to be figuring a lot of things out about her life, her relationships, what she spends her time on. And this could be a difficult process for her. You know, so sometimes people are like that where they don't want anyone else involved in the process. And I think knowing that you're there as a friend or a listening ear, a good soundboard, is where the value is going to be in the relationship. Does it look like a romantic exchange? I wouldn't call it that. And that's just where it's going to be for a while. Okay, thank you so much for your question. We're going to move on to another one. This is a $10 again from Shar H. So Shar wants to know, could you please tell me what is coming up for my love life? Okay, so let's take a look at love life for Shar. Looks like we've got some activity at about the 2-month mark, and then we have activity again at the 4-month mark, and then we're kind of jumping ahead to like between the 7th and the 8th month. Okay, so major change there. 8 months out from now, you'll be looking back even as recent as the month before it, the month prior, and saying, wow, this is unrecognizable. You may even be saying that you yourself feel a little unrecognizable. So what does that suggest? Growth, okay, change, transition, for sure. At 2 months out from now, I'm not feeling anything too dramatic. I'm not feeling that something super notable is going to be happening where you would say like, oh, wow, this is life altering, you know, or I'm really feeling like a brand new beginning is here, but it is. It doesn't always have to feel that way in order for it to be true. You do have a grandmother coming through, keeps shaking up a magic 8-ball. You remember those things? It was like, I don't know, a 90s toy. I don't know, maybe they're still around. But, you know, it's like you flip it and it says like yes or it says no. And so I feel like your grandmother is going to be making very clear whether these people coming in are a yes or a no. And you need to remember the first red flag is the last red flag. Cut throat, end it. If someone is approaching you in a way that you don't like, if they've shown inconsistency, if they look a little nuts, okay, in the profile or something, they have multiple profiles, or I couldn't change my age, or like, I don't know, he is a fish. No, no, and no. Okay, just a bunch of no's. In this mix of nonsense, there are some significant, looks like TikTok is probably going to be shutting me down early today. They hate me. Okay, so on TikTok, you guys may want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, same handle. So, you know, in this mix of no's, we also have a couple yeses. And so if you're dating casually for a while, I think that would be the best approach, making sure you're not putting all your eggs in one basket or wanting anything. Okay, so this is something else that's important for you as you sort of like level up in your relationships here for the next couple years, is that you want nothing. And what I mean by that is that when you're interacting with someone, dating, or even if it is a fairly significant relationship, it's new, what have you, you never want it to be more than what it is or something other than what you think it is currently. Okay. You simply want the truth. You simply want to spend time with this person and get to know and understand the nature of the interactions in the truth. We have someone popping up on screen. We have Tristan. We have producers in training tonight. Okay, so I may not be the only one here from time to time. If you guys have like cucumbers over your eyes and face masks and just be aware, you may pop up on the screen. So we have a little bit of activity here that you can work with at about 2 months out from now. And I feel with this person, it's based mostly on communication. So I do see like lighter brown eyes, black hair, kind of darker skin, like medium dark skin, leaner, big hands, very like active. Like this person's maybe a little bit high strung, eats a lot of Doritos and chips and things like this. So you may like frequently say like, you eat that, like you were eating that again, I don't know. This person's a little, sometimes when people they're high strung, they also have like high metabolism, and you can almost like see it in their body, like they're very lean. This person feels a little childlike in some ways, but is actually very intelligent, very mature. I like the intellectual stimulation between the two of you, and there's like sexual chemistry and stuff like this going on. All right, so a lot there to work with, but it's really going to be more at the 4th month that we're taking it more seriously, and we're seeing who, if you choose to spend time with one of these people in a more significant way, like a monogamy, like a committed something, we'll know more then. All right, interesting. Thank you so much, Shar. We're going to move on to another question. This one is from a Francesca Banks. This is a $10. Okay, so Francesca says, should I stay dating Eric J, or is it time to move on? I feel like it's time to move on because he's already moved on. And what I mean by that is he's lazy. The second you notice laziness in someone, it's over. It's over, because what you're not going to be willing to do, if you're being totally honest, is like mother them or be their cheerleader or try to steer the ship or like, explain what needs to happen and what changes need to be made in order for the relationship to move forward or to be maintained, or to grow. It's like, no, we're not doing any of this. And so if he doesn't already get that, it's already over. Okay. I don't know that it's going to take, Francesca, if you want to drop another quick question, you can, because that's like literally all I have to say about that. Okay. It's not even going to take 4 minutes. All right. That's a big no. I would definitely move on. And I would be a little offended if I were you, it's like, because he doesn't present that way. He says one thing and then he's kind of doing another. All right. We're going to move on to another one. And Jill, if Francesca does want to drop another, she could do that. Okay. Because it's not going to take that long to answer that one. All right. We have another question coming up here. I think from an Alice, and this is a $5 question. So Alice wants to know, how do you see my friendship with Stacy progressing? I feel as though I don't know, there's something about like shopping. So I don't know if you two are exchanging already, or you just will be in an increase of communication here, exchanging almost like links to buy things, literal shopping, exchanging information about like medications and purchases, and vacations are like, I like this, I like that. So there's a lot of trading of valuable information here because it's uplifting to both of you. I also think that there's a lot of really great communication between the two of you happening, where you are, I want to say, able to talk about deep topics, not for very long, because her attention span may not be very long, but you guys can touch on, let's say, deeper topics, including like wounds from the past, or any type of traumas that you've dealt with, or things that you're trying to figure out and sort through. And while she is quick and she can sort of seem a little detached and kind of bounce from topic to topic, like, oh, we touched on that, we had a good exchange, I'm moving on. You know, don't take it as an offense. Don't be like, oh, she doesn't want to talk about this anymore. Some people are just quick. We talked about it, let's move on. You know, we'll touch on it maybe again in the future. I don't know. So just, you know, go with the flow. And I think that's what's best for this friendship, because you guys help each other to have a ton of insight about personal things, worldly things, shopping things. I like this a lot. All right, thank you so much for that question, Alice. We are going to move on to another one if we have any more. Shar says, I do pick up nuts. I just want to say to everybody that right now there's an increase in people booking readings, relationship readings, especially if you need to book relationship reads specifically with me, you could do that on the website. But there is an increase in people picking up nuts right now. And I would love to be like, no, that's, you know, something you can take lightly. But a lot of times, and especially when we're talking about women attracting men, if you're in a heterosexual attraction, a lot of the men that you may be attracting are borderline sociopathic, and it is actually looking pretty serious lately. Definitely narcissistic, and there's a lot of exposure going on with that, you know. So I think we have to be really careful. And here's what I would recommend to everybody, male, female, other, whatever. I think that it's good to Google. I think there's like 12 or 16 narc techniques that people use, including things like breadcrumbing, hoovering, gray walling, okay, and learn what the narc techniques are, because I am telling you that even people who are not clinically like diagnosed as a narcissist are using these techniques out there right now. And that is some dark-ish, okay? You don't need to be getting involved with at all. So get your radar up, okay? Get your antennas up if you're out there dating, because it is peaking. All right, we're gonna move on to another one. We have from Francesca. Okay, so this is Francesca's other half. Do you see me meeting anyone this year? I like that question better. All right, let's see. This year, so that's 2025. No, we're in 2024. Do I see Francesca meeting anyone? I think if you can sort of get rid of this person, November is looking pretty good, you know? And when I say like getting rid of whatever space, I think that it's also about you like mentally clearing out his energy and like emotionally detaching, because this person will still kind of come at you and pull and tug at your energy. So you may be living your life and you're perfectly fine and not even thinking back on him, and then all of a sudden your attention is going that way. He's showing up in your dreams. There are signs and symbols and synchronicities of his name and things connected to him everywhere. Okay, that's a sign that he's pulling and tugging at you, and it could set you back a bit, so that, you know, you're really kind of distracted with it and not necessarily unavailable to meeting someone new in November, but starting to allow for your energy field to get tied up with him. And this could make you read as though you're unavailable. Someone wanting to approach you may read your energy as though you're hiding something, or you're already committed to someone else, or you're not over an ex. They don't know what exactly they're reading. They can just tell, okay? And people are really hypersensitive to rejection. And of course, nobody wants to get caught up in something that's going to be toxic. So even though it isn't true, it could start to clog your energy fields. Do cord cutting with this person if you need to do that. But in November, I see someone else coming in potentially, who is very smart with money. So I see I see money in both hands. Okay, so that means this person receives money. This person is investing money, money coming in, money going out. This person may be I heard something like finance, which can be like, you know, a broker, like somebody in, yeah, maybe investments, This person knows money. This person knows business. This person could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. You know, there's a lot there. I like the banter between the two of you. And even though they may seem a little bit egotistical or a little, you know, he may seem a little full of himself at first. Like I see like nice jewelry and dressing nice and a little bit, you know, I think we all have to, especially when we're in that world where we're like selling something, or we have to sort of, you know, we're, you know, putting out this energy of professionalism and confidence. We have to be in touch with that healthy ego. I feel though, once you get past that, you're seeing someone who's actually quite down to earth. And I like this for you. All right. Good luck with all that, Francesca. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Elisa on TikTok. Okay, so maybe my TikTok didn't shut down. I do see something weird there, but I don't know what. So Lisa on TikTok, $5 question. She wants to know, is my marriage progressing for more peace and love? You know, I think that what's going to be best for you is for you to focus on peace and love, and for you to keep that standard really high. That if you're not seeing that from your partner, if you're not feeling that because there's either deception, there's omission, there's some type of manipulation, there's emotional unavailability, sometimes love bombing, sometimes emotional unavailability. Any of this and a few other things. I think if you're sensing any of that, I would start keeping a chart, you know, and I don't know if a therapist would suggest this or not, but I almost feel like I don't care. I think that, you know, when you're dealing with someone and change needs to be made and they've shown a pattern, they've proven to you that that may not happen, or there's a lot of change that does need to happen. If you're not charting it out, and that can sound shallow, but you don't have to put it up on the wall. It doesn't need to be a refrigerator picture. You know what I mean? You keep it private to yourself. They don't even need to know you're doing it. I would chart everything out that's going on, maybe even on a day-to-day basis, because what you have a tendency to do is to sugarcoat, overlook red flags, turn red flags into pink flags, hold space, you know, be patient, believe that relationships are about sacrifice when they don't have to be. And in this case, it shouldn't be. Okay. So that's the most important thing that you could do. Right now, I can't give a 100% guarantee on what that's going to look like, but I would say that as long as you are committed to peace and love, that's exactly what you're going to get. Okay, that's all you need to know. It's something you're committed to, and you won't accept less. So yeah, you will get it. Okay, one way or another. All right, thank you, Lisa. We're going to move on to another one. Shar says, am I allowed to ask more than one question? Yeah, absolutely. You guys go ahead. You can ask as many as you want until I wrap it up, you know. Let's go to Katie Castiglione. Okay, Katie asks a $10, and she wants to know, I'm ready to start a serious relationship. Do you see this happening in the near future? I would say it's best never to approach it that way, because when we decide that we're ready for something like that, if that's sort of on your manifestation list, or that's in the forefront of your mind, what you're going to do is attract people who can play off of that. So a couple different approaches you're going to want to take. We don't say, I want a serious relationship and I'm ready for that and I'm open. Let's see what I attract. No. We say, if someone were to approach me who can greatly accelerate my life and prosperity and happiness and joy and help me level up, and I could do the same for them, then I'm open maybe to a long-term committed relationship. Okay. Also, as you're interacting with these new people, dating apps, it looks like you may be on to, looks like you're meeting up with some people. It looks almost like a nicer, like bar restaurant type environment, like whatever this is. The more, you know, you're doing that, be mindful to watch your mouth, because one of the habits that you can find yourself getting into is that things become a little routine. You know, dating can almost be like job interviews at some point, or it can become so almost habitual where it's like robotic. Okay. But you do need to be careful and very mindful about what's going on. And with that, I mean that you may be meeting some people you're very attracted to, but if they're asking you very specific questions about what you're looking for, and if they're trying to really very actively listen, you know, about where you've been and what your old relationships and things look like, I think this is something you're going to want to kind of lock down. All right. So if somebody asks you ever, early in a relationship especially, what is it you're looking for? I'll know it when I see it. You give up no information, okay? Keep your cards close to your vest. Even if you want to engage with them in that way because it feels amazing and you're like, oh, wow, this could be somebody, you know, I'm actually interested in. I think that what you could be looking at here is something more valuable at about 6 to 7 months out. I don't know if you consider that the near future, but I would say it is for sure. Between the 6th and the 7th month, there's talk of like cold weather, cooler weather. So, you know, you're kind of coming in from out of the cold. There's this feeling of being able to talk with someone who seems like bigger, like wider in through the chest, taller. And I think light eyes. So I'm looking at like blue or green. I think blue, brown hair. I think that this individual is an active listener, very empathic, and maybe a deep thinker, a little bit of a slow talker, you know, takes things slowly, and you're a little more like, da, 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 da. You know, you're kind of more high strung, like it's very well balanced. I like this a lot. And we'll see what we can do with this. You know, I think it's going to be probably about 2 to 3 months in where you guys realize, I don't want to talk to anybody else. It's not even a decision or conversation or a commitment that gets made as much as it happens accidentally. You're not attracted to anyone else. When you look at this person, everybody is going to be compared back to this person. And it's going to be a vice versa situation. So some nice harmony there. All right. Thank you for your question. Good luck with that. That's a lot of fun. All right, if you guys are tuning in late, also, I forgot to ask you, please, if everyone could, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. Feel free to subscribe. And if you are here on YouTube, you want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, and you want to become a member, you can hit the join button to see the 3 different tiers of memberships. So you get things like weekly messages, a monthly mini class, you get horoscopes every month, you get to submit an email question, so you get like a private reading every month. We have a ton going on. Okay, lots of fun. So check it out. Okay, and Jill, the producer, says that you guys need to be including your question with your payment. Yeah, so if you guys are dropping payments right now and you didn't submit a question, and then later you submit a question, like I don't do lives like a lot of people will sit on here for 6 hours. I'm here for about an hour and I'm out. Okay, so that's it. It's going to roll over into the next show, and that's probably going to be in about a month. All right. So drop your question when you drop your payment, or I don't know what's going to be happening with that. All right, we have another question here from Edgar. This is a $10 question. 39. Okay, so Edgar says, how will my family get along with Jennifer's family when we get together? My family is very judgmental. You know, I just don't really have them saying anything. They remind me a little bit of my family, where like they'll talk shit from the very next room or like a few feet away, acting like they're gossiping about you, but they know it's an earshot. Like they know you can hear them. Like it's me, it's bullying, you know, it reminds me of my family. They're awful. I think though, it's like they're saying things, but they're being a little kinder than that. They may say things later. So maybe when everybody isn't together, you know, like triangulation, gossiping behind the scenes. They may also be saying it more quietly than that. Not everybody and not all the time, but there is a sense of sort of nitpicking. They're judgmental before they have reason to be, you know, so they're not even necessarily criticizing things that have happened yet. It's more like a preemptive strike, you know, it's like, that's what bullying is, right? It's like finding something to pick on or making up something to pick on and then just harassing and complaining about it. So yeah, we could see some level of this going on. I think that the important thing here though, too, is that as soon as you see something like that, you know, you don't get her involved in that. Like, why are you communicating with people? Like, I don't talk to anybody in my family. I mean, like, very few people, teeny tiny handful. And my family is massive. Okay. Like 51st cousins type massive. Why are you dealing with that? You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful, yes, to her, but it's disrespectful to you, more importantly. And we don't want to be feeding toxic relationships at all in the universe, because we get negative karmic kickback for that. And you can't use the excuse of blood is thicker than water forever. One day you're grown and you have to realize blood is not thicker than water, and everyone needs to be held accountable for their behavior. And you're not going to give free passes because you share a genetic line, and you're not going to abuse or open up someone you care about to abuse, because that says you don't have that person's back. And so it makes you not a real friend, you know, so be very careful in this situation. All right. Thank you so much for that question. We're going to move on to another one. So this is from Shar, and this is a $10 question for you. Okay, so Shar says, is it worth trying to establish a friendship or communication with my ex, TNJ, to establish a friendship or communication? You know, this person seems to be a taker. So here's what the future will look like if you choose to interact with this person. I feel like, honestly, even if you don't, because you can't change this. This person is a taker. And so what they're looking for in communicating with you and most other people is like an advantage. They're looking to be catered to. They're looking to have their ego stroked. They're looking to have support, love, affection. You're an active listener. I think people who are active listeners don't understand their value is greater than gold. There are so few active listeners in the world. And the people you've dealt with over the course of your life remember this. They remember, when they think of you, that's one of the major things they think of, right? So I would be careful if you start interacting with this individual, that you are making sure it's like a ping pong game. Okay, so any relationship dynamic should look like this. You hit the ping pong over, they hit it back on your side. You hit it over to them. If the ping pong ball goes off the table on their side, you don't stand there and wait for them to pick it up. You don't yell for them to pick it up. You don't go get another ball. You simply walk away. And what I mean by this specifically with this person is that if they aren't giving back that active listening, if they're not regularly checking on you, if they're not also uplifting you and helping you to grow and develop and, you know, find solutions to life's problems, if they're not giving that back, then you have to be careful. They're not just expecting to get it out of you because they feel entitled to it. And it's a habit you've had in the past. So another thing about this is old patterns and habits are tough to break. When we get back together with someone, you know, friendship, lover, family member, otherwise, whatever, they do remember the way it used to be. And that tone has been set. So even though you've grown and you have better boundaries and you've changed a lot, doesn't mean that this person doesn't expect you to be the same way that you were, you know? And so we won't know until you're kind of interacting with that, what that's going to look like. And they may be like, oh, well, this isn't what I bought, you know, like this isn't what it was. You know, or some people will say to you, like, you've changed. Yeah, we're all supposed to be changing. We're all supposed to be growing. And you could say, like, you're a mooch and I'm not an enabler anymore. That's what changed. Will it come to that? I'm not 100% sure. Highest likelihood as of today. Yeah. But you can also work with that in a way where you're just setting better boundaries. You know, when you have a friend who's taking, and they're not showing up for you, you're simply unavailable. And that's all there is to it. It doesn't have to come, you know, to some big blowout point. Interesting. Wonder what will happen there. Okay. Thank you for that question. We are going to move on to another one. This is also from Francesca. This is another $10. Okay, so Francesca says, why do my cousin and my mom always seem to be so negative toward me? You know, your cousin almost reads as like a brother. And so I do wonder if there's some past life connection going on here. This is interesting. You know, we are often reborn with the same groups of people, including our family. Now, that doesn't mean that you fall back in the family in the same identical order, you know, so like your mother probably wasn't your mother, but your cousin was your sibling, and you know we can move our pieces around sort of like a game of chess, you know, on the board, but it's still the same. What's happening here between them is a lot of gossip, and I hate triangulation so much. You know, because it also in your case looks a lot like favoritism or lack thereof. And it's beyond rude. It's unnecessary. And I think you have to remember that with people like this, they have low self-esteem and maybe they have no life, you know, they have nothing better to do but to sort of gossip, pick people apart. I think there's jealousy there. I think you've accomplished a lot. And you were kind of one of these babies that like popped out of the womb, let's say. You kind of popped out that way. You popped out as an old soul. And so people would have said to you your entire life, oh, well, you seem really mature for your age, or how do you know to do that? Or you may have been appointed to positions and gotten things they'll never get, you know, and you didn't even like train for it. You're just naturally good at it. You are an old soul. And you were born into the family to display how to live on a higher vibration. They are supposed to be picking up what you're laying down, but instead they're being immature and they're becoming jealous. And so they're trying to knock you down. They don't want to do the work on themselves. And when people don't want to do the work on themselves and you are a person who's growing, they're going to resent you for that every time your name comes up, every time you show up. It's an attempt to kind of ride you off, you know, so they don't have to admit to who they are. So misery loves company, you know. Sorry you're dealing with that. Anyone else have like families who do this? It's funny this is coming up. This is becoming a show a little bit thick, you know, with like family dysfunction. I saw that my family as well with this. There was always a favorite. There was always a little king or the princess, the queen. There was always one favorite from generation to generation, and it tore the family apart. It's just unacceptable behavior. And I really, you know, I don't know how anyone could look at like their kids, especially, and say like only one counts. You know, it's unimaginable. But some people do it. Because they were also trained to do it. Like maybe they were the favorite, you know, so there's an attitude of entitlement there, and it's catastrophic. All right, we are going to move on to another question. Jill says, this is an issue in my family with me being the black sheep, and now I see my daughter being treated that way. It's not acceptable. Right. I was also the black sheep, Jill. I feel you. You know, they say the black sheep is the truth teller. The black sheep is the most mature person, is the old soul, is the one who came to show them, you know, the way. But they hate that so much, and they'll gang up, and it's miserable. You have no choice but to leave. It's like, bye, you know, and take your kids with you, you know, just make sure you get them out of those types of situations. You know, that's for everyone who's dealing with that. I am so sorry. It's exhausting. You know, I saw something recently. I don't know if this is a new study that came out or people are just talking about it now all of a sudden, but I keep seeing this getting posted that the highest level of stress a human being goes through is relational stress, meaning the people in your life stressing you the F out. Okay. So, I mean, that says a lot. And you're not committed to anyone. No person on this planet is an extension of you. Not your kid, not your spouse, not your family. No one is an extension of you. That's unacceptable. Okay. All right. We are going to move on to another question. if we have any more. Kim says family dynamics can be difficult. She's sending love. Yes. All right. We have from a Ludmilla a $10 question. And she says, okay, how is my family going to react to my changing situation, to your changing situation? I feel like I'm looking at 3 people out of like a total of 5 or 6 people. Okay. So what Spirit means by that is essentially some of these people aren't as important to you, okay, contractually as other people. So we got to narrow it down to the 3. I feel like when I'm looking at these 3, one seems to be a male, I think 2 are female, but one of the females seems to have a lot of masculine energy as well. So one well-balanced individual. Long story short, they seem to be talking about it a lot. Here we go again. You know, they seem to be having a lot of discussion about you, but this has already been happening. This isn't like new, you know. So I think that you're not seeing anything you didn't expect. You're not seeing anything you're not already used to seeing. And I think that you don't have to take on a lot of interest in any of that. So as long as they're being respectful about your decisions, I want to say, like, to your face, you know, as long as you don't have, you know, side eyes or rolling eyes or like angry eyebrows coming at you, as long as no one's taking attitude. I'm one of these people asking you a lot of questions. And if I were you, I would, you know, like when someone talks to you that way, where they're asking you a question and acting like any answer you give is going to be ridiculous, that's someone, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to set a strict boundary with or cut them off, because that is abuse. I would not tolerate that. And you again may know this is coming. Okay. So if someone ever talks to you that way, talking down to you, talking at you, or not honestly trying to have an interaction where they're getting to know you more through the questions, it's more like interrogation, you know, you could say something like, what are you, a cop? What are you, working for the man? Like, who do you think you are talking to me like that? You know, and then that's the end of that. I think, though, you may have to do something like this to put everybody in place, to make it very clear you won't be tolerating it. And everyone will be treated, your response will be exactly the same for everyone and every single time. Now, you know, I don't, again, feel that it's going to be that big of a problem in the way that they're not approaching you this way and doing this to your face, except for that one person, and for the most part. Okay. So I think you really need to do an evaluation on whether or not you're overreaching. Are you too concerned about what they're saying or thinking? Who cares? Who cares? As long as we're able to have decent interactions, you know, you could set your boundary right there and be like, as long as this is good, that's good enough. You know, once that turns, if that turns, then we have a problem. Okay. You don't owe anyone an explanation about anything, and no one needs to approve of your life. You are not a child. And, you know, I pity the fool who treats you like one. All right, let's move on to another one. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, again, for those of you who are tuning in late, I am doing love and relationship questions. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, you're going to have to watch in the comments section for my producer, Jill, to drop the directions. If you want to come off of Instagram or TikTok, you can jump onto one of my Facebook accounts, or you can come to YouTube at Ask Ivy, and the directions are right up at the top. All right, let's move on to another one. We are at time. Okay, perfect. So I want to invite you guys one more time. If you need a love or relationship reading, you can go onto my website to book that. You can also book psychic mediumship, past life readings, medical intuitive, paranormal, pet readings, a million other types of readings, money as well. So go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com for that, and I will get it over to you, whether you do video download. If we don't sync up with our time zones, you can always just order a video reading. You can also do email, or we'll do a phone reading. Thank you so much. I think the new producers in training did a great job. Jill did a great job training them. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Spirit. See you guys next time.